There are still pools of blood all over the victim's front porch. In fact, you can see at least 2 bullet holes that went through their front door. Amy Pope was home alone with her 3 children when someone tried smashing through her bedroom window. That suspect got away, leaving behind shattered glass and taking her peace of mind. When you hear Waco, you may think of Baylor or Magnolia, but just across the Brazos River is East Waco, a town full of rich culture and history, centuries old. Election workers I spoke with today say things have gone without a hitch. All the machines have worked. Voters I spoke with say they were in and out within 15 minutes. Matt, you nailed it. It's wet, it's cold, and it's very, very slippery out here, especially on the roadways. Parents will have the option to flip-flop their students between virtual learning or in-person learning. Driving through the area, I've seen a lot of damaged roofs and piles of debris like this one. It's Joel Lopez with 25 News here at 25 News, and happy National Read a Book Day. Today I'll be reading a little bit of the Say Something book by Peter Reynolds.
Mientras no verás los tradicionales carnavales y juegos, aún puedes disfrutar en la comida, rodeo y vaqueros.
Now Josh, this is perfect for you, and let me tell you why. Not only are you our Bryan College Station guru, but you've been telling me you want to up your social media game, so we got to go visit.
So we got to visit the little Insta selfie place.
We got to get it. We'll get some selfies, we'll put our masks on, and it'll be great. The search for missing Fort Hood soldier Vanessa Guillen stretched on land.
At the beginning, it was like, where are you, Vanessa? Where are you? Tell us, talk to us.
In water.
This is an area that's got to be saturated.
And outside the gates of Fort Hood.
We were being told, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time, that's the Army. The thing about it is we were not setting out to make anybody mad. We wanted to find Vanessa.
It was April 22nd at Fort Hood, the last time family heard from Vanessa Guillen, and the last place she was seen alive. That's when her family reported her missing, sparking the beginning of their journey for answers.
How can this happen on military base? How can this happen while she was on duty?
The Army Criminal Investigation Department says Guillen had been in the armory room that day where she was called into work, but the only clues left behind were her keys, work badge, and wallet.
I said every time that we reach out to Fort Hood, we're told it's under investigation. I said, you're gonna be under investigation. And that's exactly what happened.
The League of United Latin American Citizens, or LULAC, stood alongside the Guillen family every step of the way.
Even though there was anger and there was a certain rage to an unknown enemy that's keeping this daughter from her family, is keeping this daughter from her community, that's what kept fueling us.
As the family proved, they would stop at nothing to find their loved one. LULAC helped organize peaceful protests outside of Fort Hood, letter-writing campaigns, and even traveled to Washington with the family as the mystery behind the disappearance of Vanessa Guillen reached President Donald Trump.
There was hardly anywhere you could go that you didn't see a poster. So pretty much everywhere you went, you saw her face.
As the days went on and tips ran dry, search and rescue organization EquiSearch continued following any leads until they made a shocking discovery.
I'm not going to say we found evidence in the Leon River. I'm not going to say that. I am going to say we found some things that are being tested.
Those remains belonged to Private Gregory Weedle Morales, who went missing nearly 10 months before, and the Post had declared him as AWOL. About a week later, near that same location, crews discovered more remains in several shallow graves.
Something inside of me just knew that it was her, because they identified the long hair and stuff like that, and so, yeah.
Those remains were confirmed to be Vanessa Guillen.
What would I say to her? We're still fighting. We're gonna speak it in English and Spanish, but all throughout, we're gonna speak the truth.
While those search efforts brought families some closure, it's shedding light on a grim reality.
We're still missing soldiers. We still have cases of soldiers that nobody knows what happened to them. And everything that was in the dark will come out to the light, and everything will be known.
Joel Lopez, 25 News. Before you go inside, you'll notice this sign warning people that they could receive a fine if they go inside. But let me tell you, that hasn't deterred people from supporting the cause.
You know, by entering the building, you can be fined by the city. It's breaking ordinance. Okay.
One by one, people showed up at Infamous Inc. for a tattoo or a piercing, but more importantly, to show their support.
I think it's huge because they're not just only standing up for themselves, but they're standing up for everybody. I mean, this could happen to anybody.
On Friday, the owner of the tattoo studio reopened, despite Governor Abbott's orders to remain closed, and it's racked up 6 citations for being open.
Unfortunately, every day they're open, there's a separate violation, so each day will be a citation.
Last week, the governor allowed salons and barbershops to open if they follow certain safety guidelines, but tattoo shops weren't on the list.
What I told Zach was, quite frankly, you're probably not going to see a lot of politicians in the House or the Senate that have tattoos. I don't think they really care. I don't think they get it.
Infamous Inc.'s lawyer Cody Cleveland says he hasn't heard from state representatives and plans to defend Infamous Inc. to the Supreme Court.
It's time that the governor either allow him to open or he's got to do something. He's in the middle of a rock and a hard place, and he's doing what he has to do for his family.
Meanwhile, the studio has received overwhelming support.
We're headed to Austin for the Tattoo the Capitol rally. And we stopped by here at Infamous Inc. to let him know that we support him and that we appreciate him standing up for us.
Support that only fuels him to remain open.
If we do this long enough, they're going to see that we're not going away, and they're going to have to either give me a reason medically that we shouldn't be doing this, or they're going to have to accept it and let us open.
Today, code enforcement tells me only the owners will receive citations for being open, not the clients. As for fines, that'll be up to the court to decide. Joel Lopez, 25 News, Waco. When you hear Waco, you may think of Baylor or Magnolia, but just across the Brazos River is East Waco, a town full of rich culture and history, centuries old. East Waco is a part of town born in the age of segregation.
Downtown by the Heritage Square, that was the black part of Waco. And then it came over across the river.
A forced move due to the times that established new horizons for the black community to settle its roots based on faith, family, and inclusion.
These people have strong ties that I have never witnessed in all my years. And nothing can separate them from the love of East Waco, Waco, period.
Gigi Green-Bowie and Jeanette Bell are East Waco historians and have been compiling pictures in newspapers in an effort to preserve its history for future generations.
I want them to be proud of their cultural heritage, their traditions, their customs, their religions, their celebrations.
I went to the Texas collection at Baylor University and found my own archive of pictures dating back to the early 1900s. Some buildings like Kestner's are still standing today. Sadly, many were destroyed in the tornado of '53 or deteriorated in time.
It's very empowering to live here. It's very loving. You feel warm inside.
Younger generations are also leaving their footprint on East Waco's history, in Vincent Thomas's case, through art.
I never thought that I would see something like this, especially with, the talks of racial tension and the climate that we're living in. I just never thought that I would be able to even work on a project like this.
For Thomas, his mural showcases the deep history and traditions of East Waco, while also giving younger generations representation in the community.
But as we start to learn our differences, we start to see that they're all minuscule when it comes to the matter of love, when it comes to the matter of what we're truly created for.
Whether it be through art or through old pictures, people in East Waco want to bridge the divide from east and west of the Brazos River and invite everyone to learn and embrace the culture that is East Waco.
And we want to welcome everybody to our front porch. You are welcome.
Joel Lopez, 25 News.
We have a great demand, and we need more vaccine to meet that demand.
Vaccine distribution continues to be a struggle in Central Texas as health departments across the region eagerly wait for another batch to arrive. 25 News reporter Jack Allen breaks down the latest on when you can register as McLennan County prepares for another mass vaccination event. Jack, thank you. Tonight, Baylor University is mourning the loss of one of its own. A social work graduate student, Alicia Martinez, passed away today from COVID-19 complications. In a statement, Baylor President Dr. Livingstone said, in part, "This is such a sad day at Baylor. May all those who loved Alicia and grieve her passing find rest, comfort, and peace in the love and hope of God." Martinez was set to graduate with her master's degree this May. The university will hold a virtual gathering for prayer at 7:30 p.m. tomorrow. Don't forget, if you are a Baylor student, you need to present a negative COVID-19 test before the start of spring semester. If you still need to get tested, the East Village tent will be open tomorrow from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. The first day of spring semester for Baylor University is on Tuesday. Now, if you're a student that tests positive, you will need a quarantine for at least 10 days. You also need to get a hold of your professors and let them know about your situation. And you should also alert campus officials so they can help you out with things like food if you are quarantined both on and off campus. Now, this semester, all students, staff, and faculty at Baylor will need to get tested for coronavirus on a weekly basis. The university plans to have several testing locations across campus, as well as mobile units for those off-site. Now, the goal is to get a more accurate case number so that they can report it on their online COVID-19 dashboard, but also to help open up the possibility of in-person events this spring.
For us to do the weekly testing, to find out where the virus is and to be able to respond appropriately, just as we did in the fall, along with mask wearing, watching your distance, and hand washing, those really will be the key to unlocking the potential to have more in-person events and return to some semblance of normalcy during the spring semester.
Much like fall semester, if students don't cooperate with the new rules, they could face suspension or even expulsion. Now, as of yesterday, some 14,000 people are hospitalized for COVID-19 in the state of Texas, and down in the Brazos Valley, ICU beds occupancy is topping extraordinary numbers. 25 News reporter Hannah King is in the Brazos Valley with how people are reacting. Taking a look at the latest COVID-19 numbers across the Lone Star State, Texas is reporting over 15,000 new confirmed cases today, along with 207 deaths, bringing the statewide death total to just over 32,000. Here in Central Texas, in McLennan County, there are over 1,100 active cases. More than 20,000 people have recovered. In Bell County, there are almost 3,000 active cases and more than 13,000 recoveries. Brazos County has just over 1,800 active cases and just over 12,000 recoveries. Dallas County Health Human Services has announced its first known case of the COVID-19 variant that was discovered in the United Kingdom. This is the third identified case here in the Lone Star State. The variant appears to spread more easily and quickly than other variants, but it does not appear to cause symptoms that are any more serious. In other news, family, friends, and loved ones got together today in Waco to honor what would have been the third birthday of Frankie Gonzalez.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Family and friends honored Frankie through a balloon release today, and you'll remember 2-year-old Frankie's body was found in a dumpster last year behind Park Lake Baptist Church. Both Frankie's father and mother were both arrested in connection to his death. Now joining us is First Alert meteorologist Josh Johns. People are wrapping up their Sunday tonight, so you're saying it's going to be a little rainy this week.
A little rainy this week.
Josh, thank you. The state capitol and grounds in Austin are closed through Inauguration Day. This as the FBI is warning the public of armed protests plans at all 50 state capitals ahead of President-elect Joe Biden's inauguration. ABC's Rena Roy joins us with the measures authorities are taking from coast to coast. For the sake of safety, U.S. Postal Service has temporarily removed or locked blue mailboxes in several major cities. The Postal Service says the move is in order to keep employees, customers, and property safe during what could be protests or large gatherings. Now, this was the final weekend for President Trump in the White House, and on Tuesday, he's expected to issue 100 pardons and commutations. For now, President Trump is not expected to grant himself a pardon. Apple is defending its decision to remove the social media network Parler. Apple, along with Amazon and Google, effectively kicked the platform off the internet in the wake of the events at the U.S. Capitol. Apple CEO Tim Cook said the move was not about restricting free speech.
We have an app store that has about 2 million apps in it, and we have terms of service for these apps. We obviously don't control what's on the internet, but we've never viewed that our platform should be a simple replication of the internet. We have rules and regulations, and we just ask that people abide by those.
Despite their best efforts, it seems Parler is back online. The CEO wrote this message saying, quote, "Hello, is this thing on?" It appears the social network's domain is now registered to the company Epic. Now, Epic works with other popular far-right networks like Gab and 8chan, which got some heat after members spread QAnon conspiracy theories. Tomorrow is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and many are dedicating their day off for service. After the break, how people in Central Texas are giving back in honor of MLK. And if you've been slacking on your New Year's resolutions, you're not alone. The message from experts on why you shouldn't give up just yet.